Philippines, an archipelago of secrets, hidden in the shadows of tropical forests and the turquoise waters of the Pacific Ocean. Imagine a country with more than 7,000 islands, where ancient traditions intertwine with modernity in a remarkable dance of time. It is the only Christian nation in Asia, yet behind this simple fact lies an entire labyrinth of mysterious beliefs and rituals that you may have never heard of. Here, amidst lush greenery and crystal-clear waters, rests the remains of the great navigator Ferdinand Magellan. His death on the island of Mactan is merely the first page in the book of Philippine mysteries. What other secrets does this enigmatic land hold? Why do locals perform rituals of self-flagellation, crucifying themselves on wooden crosses? And is it true that on remote islands tribes still exist who have not changed their way of life in 500 years? Today, we will delve into an iceberg format, from the well-known facts visible on the surface to the dark depths of knowledge where the light of curiosity rarely penetrates the ordinary tourist's gaze. Prepare to discover 15 astonishing facts about the Philippines, some of which may completely reshape your perception of this exotic country. But this is just the beginning of our journey into the mysteries of the Philippines. The deeper we delve into the history of this archipelago, the more enigmas unfold before us. Fact 1. The lost world of 7,000 islands. Imagine an archipelago sprawling across the waters of the Pacific Ocean, where more than 7,000 pieces of land form a whimsical mosaic of nature and culture. Astonishingly, only about 2,000 of these islands are inhabited by people. The remaining 5,000 remain untouched by civilization, safeguarding their ancient secrets. What lies hidden on these islands, forgotten by God? What treasures and artifacts might rest upon their deserted shores? The Philippine archipelago stretches 1,800 kilometers from north to south, a distance comparable to the length of all of Western Europe. Here, vast islands with developed infrastructure coexist with tiny patches of land where time seems to have stood still for centuries. Locals tell legends of lost islands that appear and disappear depending on the phase of the moon, and of underwater cities from ancient civilizations, the ruins of which can sometimes be glimpsed through the crystal-clear water during low tides. Oceanographic scientists confirm that dozens of Philippine islands indeed periodically submerge during high tides or severe storms, creating the effect of disappearing land. But what if some of these islands conceal something more? Archaeological expeditions in remote areas of the archipelago have uncovered strange stone structures whose origins defy explanation. Local fishermen avoid certain islands, claiming that they are inhabited by the spirits of ancient peoples who inhabited these lands long before the arrival of the first settlers. Some researchers hypothesize that part of the Philippine Islands may have been artificially created by an ancient civilization possessing technologies that we cannot comprehend. How can we explain the perfectly geometric shapes of some islands, visible only from a bird's-eye view? Why do magnetic compasses begin to malfunction on certain islands, while electronic devices fail? The mystery of the 7,000 islands continues to beckon explorers from around the world. Yet the archipelago zealously guards its secrets, allowing us to glimpse only a small portion of its true visage. Fact 2. Eastern land of the Western faith, the religious paradox of the Pacific. Amid the Buddhist, Hindu, and Muslim countries of Asia, the Philippines rise as a mysterious island of Christian faith, as if transported across the ocean from another world. More than 80% of the population adheres to Catholicism, a phenomenon that baffles many researchers in religious geography. How could it be that in the very heart of the East, a religion traditionally associated with the West is flourishing? Spanish colonization, which lasted over 300 years, left an indelible mark on the soul of the Filipino people, creating a cultural phenomenon unmatched anywhere in the world. Here, ancient animistic beliefs intertwine with Catholic dogmas, giving birth to a unique syncretism where Christian saints coexist with ancestral spirits, and church rituals are infused with local traditions. Anthropologists note a striking phenomenon. Filipinos did not merely accept Christianity, they transformed it, creating their own version of Catholicism imbued with elements of traditional beliefs. In remote mountain villages, one can witness strange rituals where Christian prayers are combined with ancient incantations, and Catholic priests bless offerings to the spirits of nature. Some researchers hypothesize that such a deep penetration of Christianity into Filipino culture was made possible by certain parallels between local beliefs and Christian teachings. The cult of ancestors, prevalent among the indigenous peoples of the archipelago, found reflection in the veneration of saints, while the belief in a supreme deity easily transformed into monotheism. But there is an even more mysterious theory, that even before the arrival of the Spaniards, early forms of Christianity may have existed on the islands, brought by unknown missionaries. Archaeologists are uncovering artifacts with Christian symbolism dating back to a period before European colonization. How can one explain the presence of crosses and other Christian symbols on ancient Filipino artifacts? Could the first Christian preachers have reached these remote islands long before Magellan? The religious map of the Philippines is a mysterious mosaic, where each island, each province, has its own unique spiritual traditions. In some regions, rituals of self-flagellation and crucifixion during Holy Week are still practiced, a sight that shocks even representatives of the official church. Why has Filipino Catholicism adopted such extreme forms of expressing faith? What ancient cults might have influenced these practices? The mystery of Christian Philippines continues to intrigue scholars of religion and historians, offering us a unique window into a world where East and West merge in a mysterious spiritual dance, the significance of which we are only beginning to grasp. Fact 3. The concrete jungle in the embrace of the sea, a paradoxical capital where time has both stopped and accelerated simultaneously. Manila, a city of mystery, a city of contradiction, one of the most densely populated metropolises on our planet, where more than 43,000 people reside in every square kilometer of land. Can one imagine such a concentration of human destinies, aspirations, hopes, and disappointments? This gigantic organism pulses to its own unique rhythm, creating a remarkable urban phenomenon that anthropologists refer to as the Manila phenomenon. What lies at the heart of this enigma? Primarily, the astonishing contrasts that defy the ordinary logic of urban development. Here, gleaming skyscrapers of glass and concrete literally rise from slums where people live in conditions reminiscent of the Middle Ages. Luxurious shopping malls with air conditioning sit side by side with chaotic markets filled with the aromas of spices, seafood, and humid tropical heat. But the most striking contrast is the journey through time that one can embark on simply by crossing the street. At the very heart of this chaotic metropolis lies Intramuros, the city within walls, the largest Spanish colonial city in all of Asia. Passing through the massive stone gates of this fortress feels like being transported 400 years back in time, to the era of conquistadors and galleons. Cobblestone streets, majestic cathedrals, colonial mansions. All of this creates the sensation that one is not in Asia, but rather in some Spanish town, relocated across the ocean and frozen in time. Archaeologists and historians continue to uncover artifacts beneath the foundations of Intramuros's buildings, revealing mysterious stories about the life of this city. Strange symbols on ancient stones, secret underground passages leading into the unknown, enigmatic inscriptions on the walls of ancient cellars. All of this gives the impression that Intramuros harbors some great secret yet to be unraveled. Some researchers hypothesize that beneath Intramuros lies an entire underground city, built long before the arrival of the Spaniards. Locals share legends of strange sounds emanating from below the ground on moonless nights, of the ghosts of conquistadors still patrolling the fortress walls, of mysterious lights appearing above ancient towers. What are these? Mere folklore or echoes of some forgotten history? Manila is a city where time seems to compress and stretch, creating temporal anomalies that defy explanation. How could it be that such different eras and cultures coexist in one place? What forces have shaped this remarkable urban organism, reminiscent of a living being with many faces? The mystery of Manila remains unsolved, inviting us on a journey through the labyrinth of time, where past and future intertwine in a mysterious dance, the meaning of which may only be understood by those willing to look beyond the obvious. Fact 4. The underwater kingdom of 1,000 mysteries, a realm where the ocean reveals its most cherished wonders. But while Manila is a labyrinthine enigma of time, leaving this metropolis and venturing to the islands of the archipelago presents us with a new, equally astonishing mystery. Why exactly here, in this specific place on the planet, did nature create one of the most remarkable assemblages of underwater and coastal beauty? Is it mere coincidence or the result of some unknown geological processes that shaped this unique landscape? Boracay, an island whose sand is so white that under the full moon the beaches glow with a ghostly luminescence, visible even from planes flying overhead. Scientists are still debating the origin of this phenomenon. Some claim it is the result of millennia of coral grinding, while others propose a bolder hypothesis about an unusual mineral composition that makes Boracay's sand not just white, but almost luminescent. Locals tell legends of ancient beings dwelling in the depths of the surrounding sea, whose magical energy nourishes these shores. Can we completely dismiss such tales, especially given that science has yet to provide a full explanation for the uniqueness of this place? Even more mysterious is the island of Palawan, a place where jungles meet the sea in such harmonious union that it seems they have always existed together. The underground river of Puerto Princesa, flowing through limestone caves directly into the sea. Is this a natural phenomenon or the result of some forgotten civilization's activity? Some researchers have discovered strange symbols on the walls of the caves, resembling ancient scripts, but not matching any known writing systems. Who left these marks, and what message do they convey? Perhaps the greatest mystery of the Philippines lies beneath the water's surface, in an astonishing underwater world that boasts a diversity of life, surpassing even the famous Great Barrier Reef. In the so-called Coral Triangle, with the Philippines at its center, more than 6,000 species of fish, 750 species of coral, 5 species of sea turtles, and 13 species of marine mammals reside. Yet the most astounding fact, according to marine biologists, most of this biodiversity remains unstudied and unclassified. What lurks in these depths? What other unknown creatures inhabit the dark trenches and coral labyrinths? Divers recount encounters with inexplicable light phenomena at great depths, with strange sounds unlike those of any known marine inhabitants, and with mysterious structures on the seabed resembling the ruins of ancient constructions. Are these accounts merely the result of nitrogen narcosis, or is there indeed something beyond our understanding hidden in the waters of the Philippines? The mystery of the Philippine waters remains unsolved, beckoning researchers from around the globe to these crystal-clear waters, where each dive may lead to the discovery of something uncharted, something that could change our perception of life on this planet. Fact 5. The culinary labyrinth of flavors, a place where worlds collide and create a gastronomic enigma. Leaving behind the underwater wonders of the Philippines and ascending to land, we encounter an equally astonishing phenomenon: Filipino cuisine, which represents a remarkable synthesis not found anywhere else in the world. How could such an organic fusion of entirely different culinary traditions, Spanish, Malay, Chinese, and American, occur? Some gastronomic historians claim it is the result of a natural process of cultural assimilation, while others propose a more intriguing theory. Perhaps this territory was an ancient center of trade routes existing long before officially recognized historical contacts between East and West. The mysterious dish adobo, meat marinated in vinegar, soy sauce, and garlic, is prepared according to recipes that, according to some culinary anthropologists, are at least 1,000 years old. But how can the striking similarity in cooking techniques to certain Mediterranean methods of preserving meat, which existed long before the arrival of the Spaniards, be explained? Could this be evidence of long-forgotten contacts between civilizations? Even more enigmatic is lechon, a whole roasted piglet, cooked on a spit until it reaches a crispy crust. The cooking technique is nearly identical to that used on the Iberian Peninsula, yet local legends suggest that this dish existed on the islands long before the Europeans arrived. Who is right in this culinary debate? Sisig, a dish made from pig's head and liver, seasoned with lime juice and chili peppers, is shrouded in an even denser layer of mystery. Anthropologists have found mentions of a similar dish in ancient texts discovered in caves on the island of Luzon, dating back to a period well before European colonization. But how can the presence of descriptions of ingredients in these texts, which, according to official accounts, were only brought to the islands by the Spaniards, be explained? Perhaps our understanding of the culinary history of the region requires serious reassessment. The dessert, halo, a true mystery for culinary historians. This intricate combination of ice, sweet beans, fruits, jelly, and milk has no parallels in global cuisine. Some researchers believe the recipe was created under the influence of Japanese desserts in the 20th century. But archaeological finds on the island of Mindanao point to the existence of a similar dessert as far back as the 14th century. How can this temporal discrepancy be explained? Perhaps Filipino cuisine holds the keys to unraveling long-forgotten pages of human history when contacts between different parts of the world were far more intense than we are accustomed to believe. Each dish of this astonishing cuisine is not merely food. It is a message from the past, encoded in combinations of flavors, cooking techniques, and traditions of presentation. And who knows what other secrets of the past these ancient recipes, passed down from generation to generation for centuries, may hold. Fact 6. Carnival Mysteries of Time. Ritual celebrations where the past dances with the present. But the Philippines hold more than just culinary secrets. Shifting our focus from gastronomic enigmas to cultural phenomena, we encounter an equally astonishing occurrence. Philippine festivals, which represent a remarkable symbiosis of Christian rituals and ancient pagan practices. How could such an organic fusion of seemingly opposing spiritual traditions come about? The famous Sinulog Festival in Cebu, a dance prayer in honor of the Holy Child, Santo Niño, blending Catholic iconography with rhythmic movements that mimic the flow of a river, Sinulog, captivates anthropologists with its dualistic nature. Some religious scholars assert that this is merely the result of natural cultural adaptation of Christianity, while others propose a more intriguing hypothesis. Perhaps these ritual dances existed on the islands long before the arrival of the Spaniards and were dedicated to ancient river deities. Archaeological findings on the island of Cebu indicate the presence of a water cult dating back to the 7th century AD. Could this be the key to unraveling the origins of Sinulog? Even more mysterious is the Ati-Atihan Festival on the island of Panay. Participants paint their faces and bodies with black soot, don vibrant costumes, and dance through the streets to the hypnotic rhythms of drums. Officially, this is a celebration in honor of the Holy Child. But anthropologists have discovered a striking resemblance to ancient ancestor worship rituals that existed in the Philippines long before the arrival of Europeans. How can we explain that many elements of this festival, known as the Philippine Mardi Gras, have direct parallels with the rituals of Negrito tribes that inhabited the archipelago thousands of years ago? The Pahiyas festival in the province of Lucban is shrouded in an even denser veil of mystery. Homes are adorned with colorful decorations made from vegetables, fruits, and flowers, creating the impression of living temples of nature. While officially a celebration in honor of San Isidro, the patron saint of farmers. Ancient manuscripts found in the region's caves contain descriptions of remarkably similar rituals dedicated to fertility deities and conducted during the spring equinox. Is it possible that the modern Christian holiday is merely a transformed ancient ritual of worshipping the forces of nature? Particularly enigmatic is the fact that some Philippine celebrations can last for weeks, evolving into genuine carnival mysteries where the boundaries between religious ritual and folk merriment, between Christian symbolism and pagan imagery, become indistinguishable. The Dinagyang Festival in Iloilo, a 10-day celebration that incorporates elements which, according to some researchers, bear astonishing parallels to the ancient Dionysian mysteries of the Mediterranean. How could such parallels arise between cultures separated by thousands of kilometers and centuries? Perhaps Philippine festivals are living archaeological artifacts, preserving the memory of long-forgotten cultural contacts between civilizations. And who knows what other mysteries lie behind the vibrant colors, rhythmic drums, and ecstatic dances of these remarkable festivities, which connect the past and present, the sacred and the mundane, the Christian and the pagan? Fact 7. The linguistic palette of the Philippines. Diversity hidden in every word. The mysterious archipelago of the Philippines, consisting of over 70,000 islands, turns out to be not only a paradise for travelers, but also a true linguistic mosaic. The official languages here are Filipino, based on Tagalog, and English, but linguists assert that more than 180 languages and dialects are spoken in the Philippines. How did such a linguistic palette manage to persist over the centuries? Historically, the Philippines endured over 300 years of colonial influence from Spain, followed by that of the United States, both of which left an indelible mark on the country's language and culture. The Spanish language, permeating everyday life, introduced numerous borrowed words that can still be heard in the everyday speech of Filipinos. For instance, phrases containing elements of Spanish embody the spirit of the times when the islands were part of the Spanish Empire. But this is not the only influence. English, which became official after American colonial rule, opened doors to international communication, and today, most Filipinos speak English fluently, making the country one of the largest English-speaking nations in the world. How could this linguistic flexibility arise in a world where many peoples face the extinction of their native languages? Perhaps the key to understanding lies in the unique culture of the Philippines, where respect for traditions and a yearning for modernity coexist harmoniously. Some researchers argue that this diversity of languages and dialects helps preserve the identity of various ethnic groups, among which one can highlight many peoples, such as Ilocano, Bisaya, and Maranao, each possessing its own unique language and cultural traditions. How is it that so many linguistic riches are concentrated in such a small space? Remarkably, even in the modern world, where globalization erases language barriers, the Philippines remains an island of linguistic diversity. Could this diversity be a symbol of resilience and strength for the Filipino people? And despite all these influences, what other secrets lie hidden in the languages that whisper tales of ancient histories and forgotten worlds? The linguistic palette of the Philippines may be just the tip of the iceberg, with deeper and more unsolved mysteries waiting to be uncovered beneath the surface. Fact 8. The rice terraces of Banaue, the eighth wonder of the world, hidden in the mountains. When we talk about the wonders of the world, many of us envision majestic structures or natural wonders. But in the Philippines lies something truly unique: the rice terraces of Banaue. These terraces, over 2,000 years old, were expertly carved into the mountainsides by the Ifugao people and represent not only agricultural value, but also a remarkable testament to ancient technologies and cultural heritage. How is it possible that such a grand system was created at an altitude of over 1,000 meters above sea level? The entire process was the result of generations of laborers who manually crafted the terraces using simple tools and a profound understanding of nature. Each terrace is not just a plot of land. It is a whole ecosystem where every plant and every action matters. Yet, despite their beauty and historical significance, the rice terraces of Banaue are under threat of extinction. How could such outstanding achievements of human life find themselves in danger? The answer lies in a combination of factors: climate change, urbanization, and a loss of interest in traditional farming methods among the youth. These terraces, which once provided sustenance for entire communities, are now at risk of being abandoned, and their ancient secrets may be lost forever. But is this truly the end for Banao? Perhaps the locals and authorities can unite their efforts to preserve this heritage that not only nourished their ancestors but also continues to amaze travelers from around the globe. How did such an extraordinary achievement come to be on the brink of disappearance? Some researchers suggest that the importance of the rice terraces extends beyond mere agriculture. They represent a living history that connects generations of Ifugao people to their ancestors. These are not just fields. They are a reflection of a culture that has developed over centuries. Yet, despite efforts to preserve them, a mystery remains: how to safeguard this heritage for future generations. The rice terraces of Banao are just one of the mysteries of the Philippines. But what else do these ancient mountains hide, awaiting their discovery? Fact 9. A volcanic country, the Philippines and its deadly giants. The Philippines is not only a paradise for tourists, but also a land where nature showcases its power and unpredictability. Mount Pinatubo, which erupted in 1991, became a symbol of nature's destructive force. This eruption, the second largest of the 20th century, transformed not only the landscape of the volcano itself, but also the surrounding area. How did this once quiet giant, majestically rising against the blue sky, become the cause of one of the most devastating disasters? After lying dormant for over 60 years, Pinatubo suddenly unleashed millions of tons of ash and gases, leading to catastrophic consequences for both the ecology and the lives of local inhabitants. Hundreds of thousands of people were forced to leave their homes, while the world watched as a cloud of ash enveloped the earth, creating a phenomenon known as volcanic winter. But what is the true cause of such fury from nature? Some scientists suggest that changes in the tectonic plates occurring underground triggered this destructive eruption. Yet, despite all scientific explanations, the fear of nature's power remains inseparable. But that's not all. The Philippines harbors numerous other volcanoes, among which Mount Taal stands out. This picturesque yet deadly volcano is situated on an island in a lake, which itself is a unique phenomenon. Taal lures with its beauty, yet its calm can suddenly turn into catastrophe, as has happened in the past. Eruptions over the centuries have left behind not only destruction, but also many mysteries. Why does this volcano awaken so frequently? Some researchers are convinced that its activity is linked to underwater tectonic processes that we do not yet fully understand. But what else might be hidden beneath its tranquil surface? Perhaps this place holds ancient secrets waiting to be uncovered. How is it that the Philippines, despite its beauty, possesses such a dangerous nature? Perhaps it is because the locals living near the volcanoes have unique knowledge about interacting with nature. They know how to read the signals that the earth sends and how to respond to them. Yet even they cannot always predict when nature will unleash its might. The Philippines remains at the center of volcanic activity, and each new day brings new enigmas. What are the true causes of this activity, and how might they affect the future of the country? The mysteries that lie behind each eruption remain unsolved, and every new study raises more questions than it answers. How many more secrets do the volcanoes of the Philippines conceal? Fact 10. The karaoke mystery. Why can songs be dangerous? The Philippines is not only a land of volcanoes and picturesque landscapes, but also a place where karaoke culture reaches extraordinary heights. Every evening, the streets are filled with the sounds of beloved melodies, while cozy bars and cafes become arenas for local performers. However, behind this joy lies a sinister peculiarity. There exists an unspoken rule here that one should not kill a person for a bad rendition of a song. How did it come to pass that an entertainment meant to unite people has spawned such disturbing stories? One of the most famous songs, which has given rise to a true paradox, is Frank Sinatra's My Way. This melody, imbued with a spirit of confidence and self-expression, has become an icon on the karaoke stages of the Philippines. However, as the facts show, performing it can turn into a real tragedy. Instances of violence associated with this song have become so widespread that a term "My Way syndrome" has even emerged. People who perform this song poorly often become victims of aggressive reactions from the audience. How did it happen that one musical composition became a symbol of not only enjoyment, but also violence? Researchers note that the particular attention given to My Way is linked to its lyrics, which call for personal struggle and self-assertion. Perhaps this is what leads Filipinos to perceive it as a challenge. There are numerous cases where performers, unable to handle the emotional tension, have become targets of mockery or even aggression. In some karaoke bars, there are even disclaimers. It's better not to perform this song. How did it happen that a simple form of entertainment turned into a source of such tension? Some experts believe this phenomenon is connected not only with cultural specifics, but also with deeper social issues. In a society where success and recognition play such crucial roles, even the slightest failure can lead to unpredictable consequences. Yet, despite all these explanations, many questions remain. Why has My Way become such a trigger song? How can other compositions elicit similar reactions? The Philippines continues to be an enigmatic place where fun and danger can go hand in hand. Every evening, as people gather to the sounds of karaoke, they risk encountering not just joy, but also a grim reality. How many other songs may conceal such dark secrets? And how many more karaoke stories await their revelation? The mysteries surrounding this culture remain unsolved, much like many other aspects of life in the Philippines. Fact 11. An extreme Easter tradition. Crucifixion in the Philippines. Every year, on Holy Easter, the town of San Pedro Cutud in the Philippines becomes the stage for one of the most shocking and mysterious rituals in the world, voluntary crucifixion. This event attracts thousands of spectators eager to witness local residents dressed in simple white garments, reenacting the sufferings of Christ by allowing themselves to be nailed to crosses with real nails. But how did such an unusual and brutal tradition come to be? What drives those who dare to participate? According to local legends, the crucifixion ritual originated in the mid-20th century, when one of the townspeople, seeking relief from a severe illness, promised God that if he survived, he would replicate the sufferings of Christ. Since then, this ritual has evolved into an annual event that, despite the official disapproval of the Catholic Church, continues to attract not only locals, but also tourists from around the globe. How did it happen that a tradition rooted in deep religious sentiment has become a topic of discussion and controversy? Each year, on the day of the crucifixion, volunteers gather in the square, welcomed by a multitude of spectators eager to witness this unforgettable spectacle. The air is filled with the scent of incense, and the sounds of prayer mingle with the cries of the crowd, creating an atmosphere charged with emotion and tension. But behind this vivid scene lies a multitude of questions. What motivates people to go to such extremes? How do they perceive this ritual? Many claim that it is a way to atone for sins, regain health, or simply express their faith. But can such a genuine sacrifice truly bring one closer to God? Some researchers believe that crucifixion is not merely a religious act, but a deeply ingrained part of Filipino culture, where suffering and sacrifice hold special significance. However, despite the efforts of some clergy to put an end to this ritual, it only continues to gain popularity. How has it come to pass that such a grim rite persists in modern society? What drives those who resort to such extreme measures in search of spiritual purification? With each passing year, the number of volunteers wishing to partake in this ritual only increases, and San Pedro Cutud becomes a true pilgrimage center for those seeking answers to their questions. Yet the question remains, can crucifixion truly be the key to saving one's soul? Or is it merely an eccentric way to attract attention? How many other unusual rituals exist in the world, and what secrets do they conceal from us? The mystery surrounding Easter in the Philippines remains unsolved, just like many other aspects of religious practices that continue to evoke admiration and bewilderment. Fact 12. Blood-soaked cockfights, the hidden passion of the Philippines. In the Philippines, there exists a mysterious and bloody tradition that, despite legislative restrictions, remains one of the most popular and debated national passions: the underground industry of cockfighting, known as sabong. While the country's laws prohibit such brutal amusements, arenas or galeras continue to operate nationwide, where thousands of spectators gather to witness fierce battles between meticulously trained fighting roosters. How has it come to pass that this tradition, dating back to ancient times, continues to thrive in modern society? Despite all efforts by the authorities to impose order, cockfighting in the Philippines is not merely a form of gambling. It is a genuine culture that encompasses all strata of society. Participants, or bokers, invest enormous sums in their pets, sometimes reaching astronomical amounts, as victory in a fight not only brings glory, but also a substantial monetary prize. The air is thick with tension and excitement as the stakes begin to rise. How can such dedication and passion for this brutal pursuit be explained? Many view fighting roosters as symbols of strength and courage, willing to risk everything for victory. Yet, what lies behind this passion? What are the roots of this phenomenon that elicits both admiration and condemnation? The arena is charged with an atmosphere of anticipation and thrill. Spectators enthusiastically follow every movement of their favorites, while cheers of support blend with cries of pain as the roosters clash in battle. The drive to win and the desire to demonstrate strength compel people to forget about morality and ethics, raising numerous questions. How can such violence be justified in the modern world? And why does this tradition continue to attract millions? Some researchers argue that sabong is not merely a gambling game, but an important element of Philippine cultural identity. In this context, cockfighting becomes a symbol of the struggle for survival and the opportunities that life offers. Yet, despite this, the unresolved question remains: how much longer will this grim tradition exist in a society striving for humanity? How many other similar rituals are hidden from the eyes of modern people, waiting for their moment to be revealed? The mystery surrounding cockfighting in the Philippines continues to remain unsolved, much like many other aspects of culture that provoke debate and controversy. Fact 13. Psychic surgery, miracles, or deception. In the Philippines, there exists a unique and mysterious healing ritual that continues to provoke numerous questions and debates: psychic surgery, performed by healers known as healers. These astonishing practitioners, who are said to possess extraordinary abilities, conduct operations with their bare hands, without the use of anesthesia or medical instruments. How do they do it? And is this truly healing, or merely an illusion, a trick, and magic? Imagine the scene in the silence of a small village surrounded by green hills and tropical forests, where people gather in hope of a miracle. The healers, dressed in simple clothing, encircle a patient lying on a table. They begin to move their hands over the body, as if sensing the invisible energies that permeate the space. Soon, what many call an operation begins. With hand movements, the healers reportedly extract tumors and diseased tissues, leaving no scars behind. How is this possible? How can human hands accomplish what traditional medicine deems impossible? Western scientists and medical experts insist that such practices are deceptions and tricks that lack any scientific basis. They argue that patients, often under the influence of hypnosis or a suggestive state, may only imagine that they have been healed, while in reality, nothing occurs. However, despite this, thousands of people from various corners of the world, including those suffering from serious illnesses, travel to the Philippines in search of healing, hoping for the miracle that a healer can perform. How can we explain the fact that numerous individuals report positive outcomes after such procedures? Is it merely coincidence, or is there something more that we do not yet understand? Some researchers believe that psychic surgery may be connected to ancient traditions and beliefs of the local people, who have passed down their knowledge of healing from generation to generation for centuries. In this light, the healers become not just healers, but also guardians of ancient secrets that may be lost to modern society. Yet, how is it that knowledge that could help many remains unverified by Western medicine? Are such mystical abilities not part of something deeper and unexplored? Thus, the mystery of psychic surgery in the Philippines remains unsolved. Many questions about what actually occurs during these operations remain unanswered. Perhaps this practice is just the tip of the iceberg, concealing something greater than we can imagine. How many other similar phenomena exist on our planet, waiting for their moment to be revealed? Fact 14. The mystery of the Tasiday tribe, at the heart of an unexplored world. On the remote islands of the Philippines, where the greenery of tropical forests intertwines with endless horizons, lie tribes that few know about, perhaps living by ancient traditions long forgotten. Among them is the Tasiday tribe on the island of Mindanao, which was opened to the world only in 1971. This tribe, having lived in complete isolation from the outside world, has long remained a living testament to the Stone Age. Imagine people residing in the dense thickets of the jungle, amidst roaring waterfalls and majestic trees, who have never known the comforts of modern civilization. How did they manage to survive in such seclusion, preserving their customs and beliefs that have become part of their identity? However, what at first glance appears to be an idol has turned into a genuine anthropological debate. Some researchers studying the Tasiday tribe began to question whether their isolation was as absolute as the first explorers claimed. Are there hidden connections between the tribe and the surrounding world that could alter our understanding of their culture? Shortly after the tribe's discovery, disputes arose regarding the authenticity of their customs and way of life. Some anthropologists argued that the Tasiday had been tamed by Western civilization, that their lifestyle had been influenced, and that they were not, in fact, the isolated people they were portrayed to be. How is it that a tribe, which so proudly protects its traditions, finds itself at the center of major disputes? Trapped between two worlds, the Tasiday have become a symbol of how modernity can intrude upon ancient cultures. What significance does their isolation hold if they are still subject to influences from the outside world? Perhaps it is merely an illusion, but the question remains: how many other tribes on Earth, like the Tasiday, still live in the shadows of modern technology, waiting to be discovered? The mystery of the Tasiday tribe remains unsolved. We can only speculate about how many more secrets they hold in their hearts and what wisdom their traditions carry. Perhaps this is just the beginning of a great journey into a world where ancient cultures continue to exist out of sight, and we have yet to learn about their remarkable stories. How many more mysteries lie in the unexplored corners of our planet, waiting for someone to dare to uncover them? Fact 15. The enigma of the mummification cult. The secrets of the Ifugao in the mountains of Luzon. On the northern slopes of the island of Luzon, amidst majestic mountains and dense forests, lives the Ifugao people, whose ancient traditions carefully preserve the memory of their ancestors. Here, in the hard-to-reach caves of Cabayan, one can encounter mummies that have become true artifacts of a unique culture that has endured to this day. How is it that in the 21st century we can still witness rituals that seem to belong only to the pages of history textbooks? The Ifugao practice mummification using a complex process based on herbal infusions and smoke that penetrates the tissues, preserving them for centuries. Imagine ancient shamans, clad in ritual garments, gathering healing herbs, burning them, and then using the resulting smoke to treat the bodies of the deceased. This is not merely a ritual. It is a way to preserve the memory of those who have passed and ensure their protection in the afterlife. But Ifugao mummification is not just a process. It is an entire philosophy. The deceased leaders are not buried, as is customary in most cultures, but are dried and preserved in special places, symbolizing their continued existence among the living. How is it that in a society striving for modernity, such ancient customs persist? Some anthropologists believe that this ritual reflects a profound connection between life and death that the Ifugao honor and respect. However, while some researchers admire this practice, others question whether Ifugao mummies remain untouched by the influences of modern technology and culture. What are the true motives and beliefs behind this ancient practice? Equally mysterious is the fate of the mummies found in the caves. How have they survived for so many years? What secret knowledge has been lost with each passing generation? Local residents, who continue the traditions of their ancestors, speak of how the mummified bodies are not merely part of their history, but living links to the past. Perhaps this is just the beginning of our understanding of how cults and rituals can maintain their significance in a changing world. Yet this story does not end with the Ifugao. Beyond these mountains, in other regions of the Philippines, similar traditions may lie hidden, awaiting discovery. How many more mysteries are concealed within our planet, waiting for someone to dare to challenge time and reveal their secrets? The Philippines, a land of contrasts, where the ordinary coexists with the extraordinary, and familiar notions of tropical paradise unravel into a rich tapestry of astonishing traditions and mysteries. Discovering this unique country is akin to diving into an iceberg of knowledge. Above the surface, we see only vibrant beaches, azure seas, and majestic Catholic cathedrals. But beneath the water lies an entire world brimming with history, rituals, and ancient customs that continue to evoke admiration and bewilderment. This land, where Eastern and Western cultures intertwine in the most unexpected ways, offers travelers not only a relaxing beach getaway, but also the chance to immerse themselves in living history, explore the depths of local customs, and learn about the enigmatic rituals passed down through generations. The Philippines becomes the ideal destination for those seeking something beyond mere tourist attractions, for those who wish to feel the spirit of antiquity and engage with a culture full of enigmas. What facts about the Philippines have surprised you the most? What else would you like to know about other countries in the upcoming editions of our series Icebergs? Share your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you won't miss fascinating episodes where we explore other exotic corners of our planet. How much more knowledge and secrets lie beneath the surface? Stay with us as we dive together into a world of endless discoveries.